To mark Asanoyama's Ozeki promotion, and mindful of the fact that some of you, like me, may have more free time than usual, I've prepared a little quiz. Who said what at their Ozeki promotion? You know the faces. They belong to the 8 men most recently promoted to Ozeki prior to Asanoyama. And as you may know, since the mid-1960s, it has become standard for an Ozeki or Yokozuna to make a pledge upon receiving official news of their new rank. The pledges started off plain and simple back in the day. I will do my best. But over time, grew more telegenic and dramatic, with the Hanada brothers especially renowned for inserting 4 kanji compound words into their memorized text. But in the postmodern world, the 4 kanji compounds have actually become less prevalent, with several wrestlers believing a more restrained approach best conveys their image of the ideal Ozeki. Hopefully your knowledge of sumo characters will help you guess which of these men thought that way. Okay, let's start the quiz. First, no fancy words from this stoic soul. Who said, "From now, just as before, I shall uphold the Japanese spirit"? Need a clue? You should remember, I put that quote in a recent video about him. Next, who raised eyebrows with the following pledge? I shall uphold my coach's instructions and devote myself to training so as to become a model wrestler. It's unheard of for an Ozeki to reference his coach, but this Ozeki was especially trusting of the stablemaster who helped him overcome a major injury. Third, which chirpy character said, "From now, just as before, I shall enrich myself in the fields of spirit, technique, and physique, and devote myself to aiming even higher"? Yes, at that time he was assumed to be a Yokozuna in waiting, and his decision to list the 3 sumo elements rather than imply them suggests he's non-Japanese. Fourth, which wrestler of few words said, "I will devote myself to ensure the Ozeki name shall not be sullied"? The clue? He was told by his first coach that it becomes a wrestler not to talk so much. Fifth, who said, "So as not to sully the status of Ozeki, I shall apply and devote myself each day, never losing sight of my goals"? That last 4 kanji compound was borrowed from Master Swordsman Musashi Miyamoto's Book of 5 Rings. It inspired him to become the first Japanese-born title winner in 10 years. Sixth, who said in typically impassive fashion, "I shall devote myself properly and justly so that the Ozeki name shall not be sullied"? The clue? Which other wrestler's pledge does that sound like? Seventh, who said, "From now, just as before, I will devote myself to training and do my utmost to put on sumo that will delight the spectators"? Again, there's more specifics than implication here, most probably non-Japanese. And finally, who said, "So as not to sully the name of Ozeki, forgetting neither to appreciate nor to consider others, I shall value the way of the samurai and devote myself to the way of sumo"? Hopefully you remember that from a couple of my videos last year. Answers in just a sec. First, let's do Asanoyama the courtesy of listening to what he had to say last Wednesday. He chose the very popular 4 kanji compound, Ishokenmei, literally making strenuous efforts for the whole of my life. Thus, in more simple terms, with all my might. The phrase appears in Gagamaru's verse of the Sumo Mascot's theme song, link provided below. Asanoyama's pledge: "I humbly accept this promotion. In order not to sully the name of Ozeki, I will continue to love sumo, and as a rikishi, uphold justice and train with all my might." I quite like the sprinkling of emotion upon this solemn vow. I can't recall ever hearing the word love in such a ceremony. But Asanoyama has his reasons. My pledge is based on my high school sumo creed, love and justice, and the words, with all my might, came from my middle school days. He said these words at the press conference to mark turning professional, and continues to write them on the square-shaped poetry cards he sends out. Pitch perfect, top marks, was how Coach Takasago described the pledge, and for understandable reasons. The words, with all my might, were those he imparted to student Asashoryu for his Ozeki ceremony 18 years ago, and released from his own lips 37 years ago, in the very same setting, and in the very same Osaka room.